Welcome back. So let's hear from James Milner, his third Premier League title. He was talking on Friday to Will Perry.
25 years ago, it's a long time. Please give us the time to work on it. If we want, this could be a real special day. If we want, in a special Liverpool way, we can be successful. But we can wait for it, of course. But I don't want to say we have to wait the next 20 years and I'm sit here again. I know when I sit here in 4 years, I think we won one title in this time. I'm pretty sure.
He's certainly true to his word, isn't he, Jurgen Klopp? Have you met anyone quite like him? Will you ever come across someone like that guy again?
No, I think, he's incredible. I think as a manager, you see the record he has anyway before he came to Liverpool, what he's done with the team at Liverpool, and that goes through the job he's done when you see games like the Barcelona game last year with players missing and some of the stars missing, and he can still put in a performance like that, and that tells me a lot about the job he's done as a manager in creating a team ethic and how we play. And even when players are missing, we can still play in the same way. I think that says how good a manager is, and that goes to the credit to the players as well, and always being ready in the squad we have. But I think when that happens, that shows what a good job him and his staff have done. And, as a man really as well, the sort of person he is, how he deals with things, how he talks about things, the support he gives the players, the support he's given my foundation as well over the years has been incredible. And not only as a manager, but as a man. And, he's fantastic, and he's very good at analysing what could happen before it does in terms of the mental side. Right, these could be the excuses we have going into this game. We're tired, or we've been away in Qatar. There's no excuses. He'll nip those in the bud before they happen and even become an issue. And he's very good at that side in looking at the whole picture around the game and thinking what could happen and what could be in the players' minds. And people see his good side a lot and the hugs and things like that, but I can tell you he's very good at giving a rocket as well. So you have to make sure that you're on it, and he seems to judge that right, when's the right time to do both.
Yeah, it was an astonishing moment, wasn't it? Because of the 30-year wait and everything that goes with it, and generations of Liverpool fans who've waited so long. But was it slightly surreal, James, at the same time as well, in the way that it was won?
Yeah, I think probably nobody ever expected it like that, and all the fans, like you say, have waited so long, and like we're so close, and then had the lockdown and things like that. So they've been so patient as well, and it's incredible, really. So to be able to be part of it and get over the line is a special feeling, and it makes it even more special, like you say, sharing it with the other boys. But when you see some of the scenes and how much it means to the fans, that's why we play. It's special, and we haven't been able to share it with them yet, but they know how important they are to us in all the games we play. And even when they haven't been there, Anfield, the boys, the performance they put in the night was incredible, really, and that was for the fans, even though I can't be there. So I'm sure we'll celebrate together at some point. But I think everyone knows how big a part the fans are at this football club, and you don't realise how big it is and how many they are all over the world until you sign for the club and you go on pre-season tours to different corners of the globe, and the following and support is absolutely incredible.
Look, I know you don't like to get too emotional and you never get too deep, but let me take you back to just being little James Milner at Leeds when you first stepped out for your debut there at Ellen Road and playing for that club, and where you've come, since those days. You've won absolutely everything, James. You've completed football. I mean, does this, I know you've won the Premier League before, but does this Premier League win surpass all of it? Is it right at the top?
I think you can't compare. I think any time you win a trophy is so special, something you achieve together. I think the league title is so hard to do. Every single week you have to be on it. You have to be the best team over 38 games. Obviously 97 points last year, and it wasn't good enough. So the character to go again, but I've been lucky to win more than one, and each one's incredibly special. And I've been fortunate to do it in different ways, from the last second in a season to this year with the most amount of games left, I think it is. But funnily enough, it's the latest any team will have won the Premier League probably for a long time. So yeah, it's been different circumstances, but it's such a special feeling when you win the league title. I think that's so pleasing to have been part of that journey and see how we've improved, and the disappointments we've had in cup finals and going close to winning the league. And then this last year, getting over the line, getting that confidence of winning trophy, and it's been a great journey. But the hunger in this team, I don't think it'll stop there. It's always hard to repeat it, and we have to enjoy this one first. But obviously, then your mind changes quickly over to the next one, and you have to go again, and that's what's demanded at the club. And when you're successful, but the character and the attitude in the squad, and that obviously comes from the manager and from right at the top, is incredible, and nobody will be resting on the laurels. And we said it after last year, and we'll say it after this season as well. We want to be looking back in years to come and get confused with which title and which year it was. That's the aim, and it's so hard to do, so hard to win titles. So when you do, it's special, and it's a massive achievement, especially when you're going up against some tough teams.
Well, listen, James, really appreciate you speaking to us. And look, there you go, off to the Etihad Stadium. Who would have thought, walking out to a guard of honour there at your old club? Look, wish you all the best for the rest of the season, and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So let's have a look at Jurgen Klopp's first Liverpool team, which is about 4.5 years ago. Really interesting to see how much it's changed. You can see for yourself. Well, up front, Lallana and Origi, neither of those, of course, are regulars, and James Milner. And you have a look at the bench as well. None of them are about either. So that is a huge turnover since October the 17th, 2005, when you compare it to the team that played Crystal Palace the other night and won the league in such emphatic style by winning by 4-0. That is fabulous recruitment, Don, isn't it? Clever recruitment. Some of them at very good prices as well as great coaching, teamwork, passion, and all the rest of it.
Taking into consideration on the previous team was Philippe Coutinho, who got sold.
Yes. Yeah.
And everyone thought at the time you're selling one of your best players, but he had a plan. He knew where they needed strengthening, and that was Alisson and Van Dijk. And this team, they've got so many attributes. It's their attitude, it's their endeavour, it's their hunger. There's great stories. And I was trying to think of, when you look at this squad and look at the personnel, which is the best story. And I probably narrowed it down to 3. And I had Andy Robertson, who was playing up in Scotland, who was nearly finished and gone out the game, went to Hull and got relegated. Now he's one of the best left-backs in world football. Or is it Trent, who's come through the ranks, a local lad who still lives with his mum and dad, winning Super Cups and Champions League and Premier Leagues? And then I thought another random one was Adrian in goal. 2 days before the Super Cup, he didn't have a club. He had no club whatsoever.
And you've got the geezer.
And then I was going to ask you to try and top me.
Well, you've got the geezer there with a little C right next to his name.
I think it's him. But for me, it's Henderson.
Henderson, you know. I think, and I'll back it up, I still think he's the most improved Premier League footballer. And he's just taken on Liverpool like it's nothing. To go there and to follow Steven Gerrard, this is Liverpool Football Club, by the way. This is Liverpool Football Club, one of the biggest clubs in the world. He's captain. He was at Sunderland how many years ago? 4 years ago?
No, more than that. No, he's been Liverpool quite some time.
But look how he's just stayed there and got better and better.
And has been written off. And I'm happy to do this. I've had a conversation with Liverpool friends of mine. When Klopp arrived, I went, he won't be long, will he, Henderson? And they've agreed with me, the Liverpool fans.
And what was he?
Look at him.
He came from Sunderland for about 18?
Yeah.
About 18 million, something like that.
Damien Comolli scouted him and wanted him as well and went against him. So from 2015, that Tottenham game, to where the team is now, did you say selling Coutinho, then they could afford to buy Van Dijk?
Exactly.
Very clever. They've done the maths.
Listen, that's a manager knowing exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, he's not playing Championship manager, is he, Jurgen Klopp? It's not just buying ready-made world-class players. You could argue all the players he's bought, probably apart from Alisson and Van Dijk, he's improved every single one of them.
Yeah.
No, so his management skills are on point. What he said on day one when he walked into Liverpool, and he said, inside 4 years, I'd like to think we'd have a league title. Bang on 4 years, they've got a league title.
Yeah, I don't think he's not finished by a long shot.
No chance.
It's
not a new 4-year deal.
Absolutely. He wants to make this team better and more successful, and this club get it back to where it needs to be, winning things every year.
And the goals they scored against Crystal Palace were like a microcosm of the way that Liverpool are, aren't they? Because there were all sorts of goals. We've now got a right back taking brilliant free kicks.
Yeah.
You know.
Again, as Don mentioned him earlier, he's the kind of player that can play anywhere, really.
Yep. This is a typical Liverpool goal, isn't it, as well? You know, lovely pass, dropped over the defence, great touch from Salah, pops it in.
You know what? You could pick all these goals. You could say all these goals are Liverpool goals because they're that good. They score so many goals.
Do you know, in a bizarre sort of way,
What about this one?
this was probably one of their best performances.
What about this strike?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got this in the locker, Fabinho. He's got the assist in the locker as well.
Now, I've
He's
got
not
to
just
say,
a holder midfield player.
To strike that ball and to keep that ball so low for so long is so difficult.
Scored one, I think, off the top of my head against, I think,
Yes.
Man City, I think,
he
was
did.
another one.
He did.
Yeah, it was
then-
Man City. Look at that, love that pass.
Oh.
Sort of stunned into the path of
Well,
Mane.
look at Salah. Look at Salah.
Look at them all. Look at them all going
He
forward.
wants to score. It's just...
And Firmino feels like he's the glue that holds everyone together. You know, he come in from the Bundesliga with not a massive price tag on his head. So the scouting system's in place. The knowledge is in place for Jurgen Klopp now. And now you start to wonder, how can they dominate?
Well,
do you play fantasy football and try and bring in big names in the summer to improve them? Because, you know, Joel Matip never has a bad game for Liverpool. Joe Gomez is another good centre-half.
Because they didn't spend big money last summer. Really interesting to look at the title winners in the last decade in this country and how much money they spent in a close season. And Liverpool did, look at that. I mean, they really didn't. Under £10 million spent. Wow. And you look at what Man City did a couple of years ago, that was all those fullbacks, wasn't it? Chelsea have always tended to go big as well. So that's really interesting now. Where should they strengthen? Where do they need to strengthen? And to put it in the context of Timo Werner, if you're a striker, who would want to go? Because you may not get in the team.
Yeah, very true. Very true. I mean, going forward, I still think he will look to bring more forward-thinking players in, maybe one or two, just to keep what he's got on their toes. Defensively, he'll possibly look for another centre-half. I believe he'll still look for another centre-half. Midfield-wise, he'll probably look for another couple of midfield players as well. He'll bring 4 or 5 in. Yeah, 100%.
But you want to be careful not
100%.
to disrupt the equilibrium, the team balance.
I don't think... he does care, of course he cares, but he's all about progressing.
Yeah.
He's all about getting better. He's all about moving things forward. He's all about keeping up with whoever he needs to keep up with.
And the man you play for was brilliant at that, wasn't he? Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah.
He knew you have been an outstanding footballer,
Yeah.
but I think you're here at the end. It's time to recycle, time for you to go and to bring 2 or 3 in.
Or he would say, the gaffer would say, you're playing brilliant, you're absolutely outstanding. I'm going to bring somebody else in just to make sure that you keep playing.
You keep, yes,
brilliant,
keep on your toes.
So that's what it's all about. And I think Klopp's in the same mould.
Yeah. What do you anticipate?
I don't know, because of obviously the situation that we're in. I don't see them spending hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds, and why would he when he's got people like Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones, young kids that are hungry to play. I just
Williams, the full-back, very highly rated, isn't he?
Nico Williams, very good player. I just wonder, and I've never been a manager, and obviously, you know, when these guys win Premier League titles, Fergie was one of the best at strengthening. Liverpool were one of the best in their time. When they won the league, they went out and strengthened. I just wonder if they've got one signing in them to contradict what I'm saying, because if you want to put a nail without even kicking a ball into Man City's
What, a super
coffin,
signing?
and I'm thinking,
You're thinking of Mbappe, aren't you?
Well, no, I was thinking actually Neymar.
Okay. Well,
And I mean,
I'll say Mbappe, you say Neymar.
There you go. Because
Yes.
of Mbappe, I've heard people say Neymar wouldn't get in the. Mbappe wouldn't get in the side. Of course he would, because Firmino would just play a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
So there's options that he's got, but aren't they good options to talk about? If you want to put a nail in everyone else's coffin for next season and say, well, Liverpool are going to win again, you get one of them two in. Man alive.
Let's have a look at the contracts as well. This is interesting, how long the contracts last for the leading players as well, because, again, this is an absolute strength of any club, is that they know when do they have to renegotiate. So Wijnaldum, his contract's up this time next year, so they'll be talking already. No one loses players on a free anymore. You sell them before then.
Yes.
But Wijnaldum's an
Unless
integral
it's
part of the
Arsenal.
team. Yeah, integral part of the... I can't hear you. Unless you're an integral part of the team. So, you know, they'll make sure that
He'll sign.
Keep Genie, yeah.
Genie will sign all day long.
Absolutely.
Why wouldn't you, when you've built up the relationship between player and manager, why would you even think about looking to go and play for anyone else?
I think all of those players will sign again. All of them.
I'm going to ask you a really serious question now. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years, 20 years ago, no matter how good you were in this country, if Real Madrid or Barcelona came in for you, whether you were British or not, you probably went, what time's my tax?
Yeah.
See you later.
Tax,
Is
yeah,
that still the case? I'm thinking in particular of Salah and Mane, would you still be tempted by Real Madrid or Barcelona, even though Liverpool are this good?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes. Of course you would. You always got to be tempted. You would always have your people go and find out what are they talking about, what are they saying. 100%. There's no way in the world that I don't think there's one player in the world that's good enough to say, I'm not talking to them, I'm not talking to Barcelona. Take out Ronaldo and Messi, obviously,
Yeah.
but I'm not talking to... Why would you do
You
that?
would 100% have the conversation, and you'd want
100%.
you would want the conversation, even if you didn't make the move, even if you didn't leave Liverpool to go to Barca or Real Madrid, you would want the conversation, and your ego would just be massaged about Barcelona and Real Madrid.
And you
coming
get a pay
into it.
rise from Liverpool.
There you go, exactly.
Stay at Liverpool and win some more titles and win Champions Leagues.
Exactly.
Brilliant. Great to see you, Chris. Evertonians enjoyed this conversation.
I'm going.
The last 5 minutes, hasn't he?
I was going to go and give him a hug there, but I'm not allowed.
No, you're not allowed. You can't.
Brilliant. Great to see you again. Thank you very much indeed, gents.